Welcome to the reading of the Times Reporter newspaper for Monday, February 1st. We will begin our reading with the area deaths. My name is Pam, by the way. Sandra Jean Gottschall, 82, of Gnadenhutten, was called home to the Lord on Friday, January 29th. In the interest of public health, a private family service is planned. Helen Lucille Grant, 93, of Uhrichsville, passed away at her home Friday, January 29th. Family and friends are invited to attend her graveside service on Tuesday, February 2nd at 1:30 p.m. in Gnadenhutten Clay Union Cemetery in Gnadenhutten, where she will be interred beside her beloved husband. David Nelson Hawk, Ph.D., age 88, passed away January 20th following a brief illness. Private interment will be at Ohio Western Reserve National Cemetery in Rittman. June Elizabeth Slusser passed away January 24th at the age of 93. A private funeral is planned for her family with interment at Sunset Hills Burial Park. Jackie Welsh, 92, of Dover and a former Newcomerstown resident, died Tuesday, January 26th in his home. At his request, cremation will take place and a graveside service will be held at a later date in the East State Street Cemetery in Newcomerstown. And that concludes the area deaths from today's online edition. Let's begin now with our first article. Hank Keithley, changes coming to the Times Reporter. Beginning this week, there will be changes coming to the Times Reporter. One, coming midweek, will be pretty easy to spot. As part of our evolution, the look of the print newspaper will be different starting Wednesday. Our design will mirror the standard one used by Gannett, our parent company that owns newspapers around the country. This will include different column sizes and different fonts for headlines and types. The change also includes our print deadlines. Our reporters will be required to file their stories for the next day's newspaper by 2 p.m. Yes, there is a lot of news that occurs after 2 p.m. each day. Just need to say earlier deadlines, avoid specifics. We're doing this to better focus on our digital platforms, which is where we must. Face it, our newsroom staff has reduced in size throughout the years, and most of that is because people aren't buying print editions like they once did. The Times Reporter has been a trusted source of information for Tuscarawas County for a long time. We want that to continue. That's why we're making changes to streamline operations and focus our resources. Today, non-subscribers can visit timesreporter.com and read a certain number of stories for free each month. Starting Monday, we will be making some of our top content online in-depth stories, exclusive reporting, unique columns, and other offerings available only to subscribers signed into their accounts. This content will continue to be available in print for home delivery and single copy customers who already support local journalism. If you have a print subscription, you already have a digital subscription. You just need to go to thetimesreporter.com to activate your subscription. There is no additional cost. A digital subscription gives you unlimited access to our content as well as our e-edition, a digital page-by-page copy of the Times Reporter. Local news reporting is important. It's also not cheap. That's the reason behind these changes. Giving our content away for free is not a viable business option. When someone is looking for information, where can I get a COVID vaccine in Tuscarawas County? Who won the Dover Philly boys basketball game? What happened at the Dover City Council meeting? He or she can readily find the answer because local journalists are reporting and publishing the stories online as news happens. That information is valuable. Why? Because it's local news that's not widely available. And because it's researched, witnessed, vetted, and reported by people whose job it is to find the facts and get them right. You know you can trust the information. We care about the communities we cover, pay local taxes, drive on the same streets, and shop in the same stores as you. Just like you, we depend on our wages to pay our bills, provide our families, and put away for retirement. If you already have a subscription, thank you. We appreciate your support. If not, please consider supporting local journalism with a digital subscription. WEYE listeners, this news may affect the way that we are able to cover the Times Reporter. Our article next up is 2 Dover teens in hospitals after a Route 250 crash that injured other driver by Lee Morrison. In Denison, 2 17-year-old Dover boys were in Akron hospitals with serious injuries Saturday evening after a two-vehicle crash on Route 250 at Pleasant Valley Road east of Denison Friday night, according to state troopers. The names of the teenagers were not yet released by troopers. The driver of a 1993 GMC Jimmy Sport utility vehicle was transported by Smith Ambulance to Altman Hospital in Canton after the crash. On Saturday evening, he was transferred to Akron Children's Hospital. No information about his condition was available. The passenger was flown by helicopter to Akron General Hospital after being extricated from the vehicle by firefighters. On Saturday, he was listed in stable critical condition. The other driver, Cynthia Thornton, 40, of Lakemore, was treated in Trinity Hospital Twin City in Denison, where she was taken by ambulance after the crash. Route 250 was closed for 4.5 hours because of the crash. The boys were in the SVU that failed to stop at the stop sign on Pleasant Valley Road at 8:32 p.m. Friday, according to Sergeant Gary Wolf of the New Philadelphia Post of the Ohio Highway Patrol. The GMC Jimmy then hit the right side of the cab of a 2020 Kenworth T680 and box trailer that Thornton was driving westbound on Route 250. The GMC Jimmy traveled west on Route 250 and off the right side of the road, striking an embankment. It then crossed the highway, went off the left side of the road, and into a field. The Kenworth went left of center, off the left side of the road, through a field, and then back onto Route 250. Road conditions were dry, and alcohol and drugs are not believed to be a factor, according to state troopers, who continue to investigate the crash in Union Township. All 3 people were wearing seat belts, officers said. Assisting on the scene were the Tuscarawas County Sheriff's officers, Denison Police, Denison Fire and Rescue, Warwick Township Fire and Rescue, University Hospital Medevac, Ohio Department of Transportation personnel, Finlayson's Towing, and Robinson's Towing. Our third article is titled, Plan to Apply for State Grant to Buy Wilkshire Golf Course Fails by Nancy Molnar. A plan to apply for a state grant to turn Wilkshire Golf Course into a nature preserve will not go forward because it did not receive the required support from Lawrence Township trustees. Trustees Mike Hodder, Donald Ackerman, and Matthew Ritterbeck decided Thursday not to back the effort of the property owners and a Cleveland area nonprofit to get a Clean Ohio grant to buy the 182-acre course near Bolivar. Ackerman said the area already has more than 600 acres of open space at Camp Tuscazor, plus the Ohio and Erie Canal Towpath Trail and Fort Lawrence. He said a nature preserve would affect the ability of the Zor Wetland Arboretum to get volunteers and donations. We have a wonderful place here in Tuscarawas County, Ackerman said. What can a park offer our community that we don't already have? The area also has green space controlled by the Muskingum Watershed Conservancy District and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Ritterbeck said. The community would lose about $25,000 a year in taxes if the golf course became a nature preserve, he said. Ritterbeck said Tuscarawas County Commissioners, whose approval would also be needed to advance a grant application, are fiscally conservative. The 16-member advisory committee of the Tuscarawas County Park Department recommended on Tuesday that county commissioners support the Clean Ohio application, according to Jesse Rothacker, park manager. The recommendation was not unanimous. But the commissioners will not be asked to act because the township trustees' lack of support doomed the application. Most of the residents who spoke about the project at the board's meeting opposed it. I don't see why we need 182 acres of area for scum to come in and do whatever they want to do in a public park, said Martha Simpson. I'm just hoping it doesn't happen, like in other places where there's a problem getting rid of people on drugs and all kinds of stuff. Kylie Quillen says he does not support using tax dollars to buy the course. I don't think we need another park in the area, he said. I think it would be detrimental to the economy locally down here. Quillen said jobs and revenue would be lost and that there are local people who would buy Wilkshire and keep it in its present use. The golf course is owned by Beth Easterday Futrick of Powell, Ohio, and Holly Easterday Adams of Savannah, Georgia, whose late father and grandfather built the course. They have proposed selling the course to the West Creek Conservancy of Parma, which would have funded the purchase with a Clean Ohio grant. It would have been operated by the Wilderness Center of Wilmot. Wilderness Center Executive Director Jeannie Gorell said the property would have had trails open to the public with a nature center in the clubhouse. She said Wilkshire would have allowed the nonprofit to serve thousands of children per month, an increase over the hundreds who visit its facility in more remote Wilmot monthly. But Harry Frank told trustees the nature preserve would become a liability. You're crazy if you approve it, he said. Who's going to take care of it? You're going to get stuck with the bill. Franks said the local hotel would suffer without the golf course. Golfers patronize local restaurants, Ackerman said. Kyle Bradford said the property would stink after being flooded because it would stay wet. But Joe Leslie, director of real estate for the West Creek Conservancy based in Parma, said returning the land to its natural state would allow it to absorb more water. He said the area would have pollinator habitat. The majority of the residents in Bolivar couldn't care less about pollination, Bradford replied. Farmers should, Leslie said. He said the nature center would be an asset that would draw tourists. Lockport Brewery owner Andrew Marburger said he was excited about the possibility. The brewery is next to Wilkshire. Futrick spoke in favor of the proposal at the trustees' meeting. She said the course has been offered for sale, but had not gotten any offers at a fair market value. She said the course has suffered from floods, a tornado, and a declining interest in golf. The West Creek Conservancy will explore other public and private options for Wilkshire, said Executive Director Derek Schaefer. And now, Dover New Philadelphia Kiwanis Club marks 100 years of service by John Baker. The Dover New Philadelphia Kiwanis Club will celebrate its 100th year of service to the community in 2021 by launching a project to provide a new playground equipment for Dease Hill Park in Dover. There are 4 shelters up there that have playground equipment from the 1960s, said the organization's president, Steve Handley. We are going to seek donations from the public and grants for that. Cost of the project's around $15,000. Checks can be made to the Ohio District Kiwanis Foundation at P.O. Box 103, New Philadelphia, Ohio 44663, and donations are tax deductible. In the future, the club plans to fund a similar project in New Philadelphia. On Monday, the group will be buying lunch for employees of the Tuscarawas County Health Department in Dover to thank them for their efforts dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic. For decades, Dover and New Philadelphia each had its own Kiwanis Club, but the 2 groups joined forces in 2016 to help the community. The club has an emphasis on helping children. It donates funds to local charities such as the Salvation Army, T4C, the Rainbow Connection, Noah's Hope, Tough Bags, and the YMCA. It also participates in the Safe Kids Bicycle Helmet Program. In addition, it gives out scholastic awards to students at Dover High School, New Philadelphia High School, and Tuscarawas Central Catholic High School, who maintain 4.0 grade point averages. And the club awards around $8,000 annually in scholarships to high school applicants. Over the years, Kiwanis has donated more than $200,000 for scholarships. Kiwanis clubs were organized in Dover and New Philadelphia in 1921. The New Philadelphia Club was formed on January 21, 1921, with 49 charter members. Dr. H.A. Coleman was the first president, and Lou Patterson was the first secretary. Over the years, the organization met at a variety of places in New Philadelphia, including the Hotel Reeves, the Delphian Motor Inn, the Dutch Oven Restaurant, and Bassetti's Restaurant. Currently, the group meets every Tuesday via Zoom. Once the pandemic has abated, the club will resume meeting at noon on Tuesdays at the Tuscarawas County Senior Center in Dover. The group has about 40 members. A few have been part of the club for more than 38 years, including Larry Markworth, Tim Least, Richard Kelly, and Jack Hurst. Handley said the club is looking for new members from all walks of life. Anyone interested in joining can contact Club Secretary Rod Laness at 269-325-8411. The Dover New Philadelphia Kiwanis Club has a number of fundraising projects planned for 2021. On March 28th, the club will be selling Park Street pizzas from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Senior Center. Those interested can order ahead by calling Vicki Yates at 330-340-7705, or they will be available on a first-come, first-served basis. In November, the group hopes to hold its annual blood screening at Cleveland Clinic Union Hospital in Dover. The 2020 event was canceled because of the pandemic. If you'd like more information, visit the Dover New Philadelphia Kiwanis Club's page on Facebook. And now, Uhrichsville man charged with 9th OVI offense by John Baker. Uhrichsville, Ohio State Highway Patrol troopers have charged Joey L. Albright of Uhrichsville with operating a vehicle while under the influence, his 9th offense. Albright was arrested after a caller reported an erratic driver on U.S. Route 250, the Highway Patrol said in a press release. Troopers were able to locate and stop the vehicle after observing a moving violation. Albright was administered field sobriety tests and subsequently arrested. He was transported to the New Philadelphia Highway Patrol post, where he submitted to a breath test. He gave a breath sample of 0.172%, the patrol said. Albright is scheduled to appear on February 9th in Tuscarawas County Court, Southern District in Uhrichsville for a pre-trial hearing. Moving on, leadership team shares ideas on redeveloping Howden Buffalo site by John Baker. In New Philadelphia, a team from the Appalachian Leadership Institute has come up with a redevelopment plan for the former Howden Buffalo property in New Philadelphia, envisioning it as a community hub with shops and restaurants, housing, and businesses. Members of the team recently shared their ideas with New Philadelphia Mayor Joel Day and officials with the Economic Development and Finance Alliance of Tuscarawas County, or the EDFA, which now owns the former industrial site. Day said it was ironic that the team's concept was similar to the one under discussion with the EDFA. One member of the team was Diane Lotzenschlager of the Tuscarawas County Convention and Visitors Bureau. The Appalachian Leadership Institute is a regional leadership training program developed by the Appalachian Regional Commission in partnership with the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, the Howard H. Baker Jr. Center for Public Policy, Tuskegee University, and Collective Impact. It was launched in 2019. Each year, 40 people are chosen for the Institute via a competitive application process. Each of the 13 states in the Appalachian region is represented. It has been an absolutely phenomenal experience so far, Lotzenschlager said, calling it the opportunity of a lifetime. During orientation, which was done remotely, the participants were divided into 4 teams of 10 people. Their assignment was to come up with a redevelopment plan for a manufacturing facility that was no longer operating. Lotzenschlager's team included mayors from towns in South Carolina and New York, a police chief from Pennsylvania, a librarian from Georgia, and a nonprofit leader from West Virginia. The Howden Buffalo plant was suggested by the team's facilitator, Katie Cahill, director of the Leadership and Governance Program at the Howard H. Baker Jr. Center for Public Policy. She came upon the Howden property on her own, Lautenschlager said. Lautenschlager's team had an hour and a half to put together a strategic plan for redevelopment. The team recommended a mixed use for the property, turning it into an ACE, which is an artisan, consumer, and entrepreneur hub, to a place to work, shop, play, and live in Tuscarawas County. Their plan was to preserve one of the buildings on the site and put in a brewery or distillery there. Then they would put in housing and have a green space available. There would also be workspaces on the site so that people could stay on the campus and work from there. We appreciated that the site is close to fresh food at Bueller's. We appreciated that the site is close to fresh food at Bueller's, is close to the mall, and has walkability to downtown for a strong quality of life, she said. The site also has the advantage of being close to the Waterworks ball field and the city boat ramp on the Tuscarawas River. We really considered it was going to be quite a good opportunity to attract a youthful workforce to Tuscarawas County, Lautenschlager said. Redevelopment would be done in phases, with the housing being built first to generate revenue to continue the project. Lautenschlager was able to put together a time when her team could share its ideas with DAY and EDFA officials in a Zoom meeting. What was really nice for our local leaders was to hear the feedback from the leaders on the team, she said. The mayors on the team said, "We wish we had this project in our community." Any decision on redevelopment will be made by EDFA officials. The Howden Buffalo facility at 338 South Broadway closed in June 2014. The former owner of the plant agreed in October to donate the site to EDFA. Our next article, New Philadelphia Sheets to Undergo Remodeling by Lee Morrison. The Sheets at 1281 West High Avenue, New Philadelphia will close on February 15th for the start of a major remodeling project, with the convenience store, restaurant, and fuel station expected to be open in early May. The store opened April 22, 2004. The remodel will update the store to the brand's new store design, which will include a restaurant-style experience with self-service kiosks and additional seating both inside and outside the store, said Nick Ruffner, PR manager for Sheets. The renovation will include the interior and exterior of the store and the car wash. Each Sheets store employee about 25 to 30 people. No employees will be laid off, Ruffner said. Sheets employees from this store will be offered jobs at other stores while the remodel is underway. The New Philadelphia location is one of 64 in Ohio, including at Cambridge and Canton. The major Mid-Atlantic restaurant and convenience chain has more than 600 locations across the states of Maryland, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and West Virginia. Well, don't you feel very informed today? And now, my friends, that concludes the reading of the Times Reporter for Monday, February 1st. My name is Pam. Thank you for inviting me into your home. Please stay safe, be blessed, and make it a great day.